I wanted to take a moment and introduce you to somebody that you think you probably already know. And you know this guy as he's our worship leader, and so you know him as this musical guy up there, and he's got that little kick move going on with his leg. Or you know him as my little Satan sidekick guy that does some of our video work. But this is Chad Doering, and yeah, he's on staff here, but he is more than just what you see. There's another part to Chad that I want you to get to know, a part of him that I've gotten to know over the years, and something that you need to know about him, and that is that he is truly a humanitarian, that he has compassion for under-resourced people and has a heart for the world. He's very global in his thinking, and I wanted you to see another side of Chad. Now, people think of you as a rock star around here.
Seriously, I am.
You are. But there's a different side of you, and you've been doing missions for a long time, and you're involved in Haiti and in Africa and all kinds of places. And where did this start for you? Where did this passion for the under-resourced around the world start?
Well, first, that's a serious intro for me to have to live up to, but I really do. I love being here. I love this church, and I really am honored to be able to lead worship here. But I started, actually, we were playing, my band was playing in this hole-in-the-wall bar, and there was this long-haired hippie in the back. He kind of approached me in mid-set and asked if we would play a benefit show for his nonprofit. I told him to take me to lunch and we can talk about it, so he did. And
you're always looking for the free lunch, dude.
I'm a boy, we like food. So he took me out and told me about it. They build churches and water systems in Haiti. And I was on board, so we started to play benefit shows for him every year. Every year he asked me to go, and every year I had the same response, which was, if I want to help somebody, I can gladly just drive down the road to Detroit, 25 minutes, and I can help them there. So,
right, because there's plenty of poverty right down the road.
There is, and they need help. They do need help. But every year he said the same thing. You've got to come and see the difference. He said, here in the States, there's government organizations, there's people always trying to help. Not that it's not hard, but if you want help, you can get it, you know? Whereas in Haiti, he said, there is no hope, there's nothing there. And I'm not a crier. Well, Janice might disagree, but I'm not really a crier, and I'm not that emotional. But my 7 days of there, I would say 5 of my nights, I literally spent crying myself to sleep. Just broken. You're broken at what you're saying. You would never believe children sleeping on garbage piles and what they're living in. And my first trip, he made me walk with the girls to get their water, to show me why he does what he does. And it was a 3-hour one-way trip down the mountain and back up to get water I wouldn't even want my dog to drink.
Wow.
So it just blows your mind, blows your mind.
So what do you actually do in Haiti? What is this Rain Catchers ministry?
The Rain Catchers, which is another reason why I love them, they're a Christian organization, but they don't go necessarily in right away waving the flag of Jesus Christ. You've got to be a Christian if we're going to help you. They focus more on the humanitarian side, which is we will bring water. It's an immediate need that they have. It rains every day there. And in Haiti, you can't just move to where the water is. You're given land. So if you're 3 hours from the watering hole, then you've got to walk 3 hours to get water. So he builds basically a glorified gutter system that catches the rainwater, filters it, and puts it in a 55-gallon drum, all in the name of Jesus Christ.
Wow. And so now these people have water in their homes.
It's in a sense giving them running water, and it saves entire villages, because one of the leading causes of death there is obviously a kid will get a cut and they don't have the water to clean it, or the water that they do have is so full of parasites it gets gangrene. Once the kid gets gangrene in his leg, then he's either going to lose his leg and then he's worthless. They'll kill him because he can't. That's another story.
Unbelievable.
Anyhow, yeah, it really does. It blows your mind. So that's what he does. And then the great thing about what they're doing is, as they build these water systems in the name of Jesus Christ, all these people are becoming believers. Then they build a church. And then they build a school, and then they build a clinic. So then they literally start to be able to save entire villages in the name of Jesus Christ. It blows your mind.
Unbelievable. So why do you keep going back? I mean, you've gone literally dozens of times. I mean, there was a period in your life that you were going 8 to 10 times a year, and for year after year. And so a lot of guys get this sense of call, this sense of mission, and then it just kind of goes away. Like, oh, God's called me to this, and then it just kind of leaves. But you just keep plugging away at it.
It's true. Well, I think when I started, I went through the gamut of emotions. First I got there and I was gonna save the world and was gonna fix everything. Janice always wants me to listen, and I want to fix. And I went to Haiti my first trip, and after being broken, then I decided, well, all we got to do to fix this place is, you know, A, B, C, and D. And then I realized after about a year and a half or 2 years of going, I couldn't fix anything. And so then you start to ask yourself, why even go anymore? There's nothing I can do to help here. It's 25 years from now before this place is going to be helped. And then I started with one girl. For whatever reason, she caught my eye, and I picked her and said, if I can change her life, then that's why I'm here.
Wow, then it's worth it. Yeah.
Right? If I can make sure that she's fed, clothed, and warm, and can go to school, then it's worth it to me. And if everybody would do that, we just choose one person, then now Haiti's saved. I can't save the whole world, but I can save hers. And then so Janice and I, one by one, as we are able to and can afford it, we just grab kids.
Wow.
So.
And what have you learned? What has God taught Chad from all this?
I've learned a lot from this whole venture. It's like anything else, I think. Whenever people come back from mission trips, they always say it was better for them than it was for the country, and I think that there's a lot of truth to that. But the biggest things I've learned, A, we need more compassion. B, Jesus Christ was a servant, and you go there and you serve, and nothing speaks his name louder than servant. You know, so I could go over there and preach all day long, but they see Jesus Christ when I'm hanging a gutter for them, when I'm giving them water, when I'm meeting their needs where they are, not forcing them to come with me. And C, one of the biggest things I've learned is I am the rich man that the Bible talks about. And I read those verses all those times my whole life thinking, gosh, it stinks to be that rich guy who can't get into heaven. And then you come home and you read those again and you realize we're the wealthy ones. Even in my poorest college, sleeping on a couch, eating ramen noodle state, I had carpeting on my floor and a couch to sleep on. There was no dirt floor, and I didn't have to walk to get my water that I wouldn't even want to drink anyway. So it just blows your mind. We are the wealthy ones. We here in the States are definitely rich. So
you don't feel rich, but you're rich. And I don't feel rich, but compared to virtually the entire world, we're wealthy.
And I think one more thing that I've learned, well, one of the other many, is just how stupid I think we are as people, or I am, for me especially, and how quickly we forget. Because you're there and you're seeing all these things and you're so thankful for what you have, and then I come back here and 3 days later I'm in the McDonald's line getting really mad that it's taken more than 5 minutes to get myself a burger and fries and something to drink. And it just blows my mind how quickly we can forget what God is teaching us.
And yet, when you first come back, you think, I'll never forget. I'm changed forever.
These images are in your mind, and they're there, and you think to yourself, I'm changed forever. I'm so appreciative for what I have. And yeah, you come back, and then 3 days later, I'm at the McDonald's line mad that it's taken too long. So we forget. That's what it comes down to. And I think that that's the challenge for our church. I think as Christians, that's the challenge, is what do we have to do to be always ringing in our heads as reminders to not forget what we're learning, whether it's taking notes at church. I know you always talk about taking notes, and most of us don't. Well, maybe we have to, because we're stupid and we forget. It just blows my mind how quickly, you know, you forget all the things that you've got. And truthfully, Metro, we cannot be like this. We cannot. When God is speaking to us, we have to be listening. We need to figure out whatever it's going to take to be grabbing all the things that we're learning, whether it's at church, whether it's out in the world, and doing whatever it takes to be constantly reminding us that we have to be applying this to our lives. That's my prayer for my life, and that's definitely my prayer for this church.